This lesson is on rounding. And rounding is essentially the process of altering a number to make it a little bit easier to work with. And again, for rounding, we're really going to need to know our place values. The general rule when we're rounding is that we're going to locate the position of the place value that we're given. So if we're asked to round to the nearest 100, you're going to start in the hundreds place. You're going to look at the digit one place value to the right of that. If that place value to the right is a 5 or greater, then you're going to round up by adding a 1 to the digit. If the place is less than 5, we're going to leave the digit exactly as it is. Everything else becomes a 0. So for example, if I'm rounding 2,384 to the nearest 100, this is the hundreds place, the 300. If I look to the right, 8 is greater than 5. Since 8 is greater than 5, that's going to round this digit up 1. So 2,400, and then these become zeros. So I still have a 4-digit number, just like I started with, but the 8 turned the 3 into a 4, and so we're saying that 2,384 is approximately 2,400. So we're rounding to the nearest 100. Here are two that we'll try together. On these, we're going to round to the nearest 10,000. So remember, this is the thousands place, which means this is the 10,000 on both values. I'm going to look at the digit to the right of the 10,000s place. So in my first example, that is a 4. Since 4 is less than 5, this value will remain unchanged, so it will stay a 3, but everything else will turn into a 0. So 134,238 is approximately 130,000. For my second example, again looking to the right of the 10,000s place, is the 9, and since 9 is greater than 5, it's going to round this digit up 1. So the 2 becomes a 3, and everything else becomes a 0. So 29,900 is approximately 30,000. Try these two questions on your own, then press play to see how you did. For both of these examples, I'm rounding to the nearest 100,000. So 100,000 would be the 1 in this case, or the 5 in the second example. Remember, I'm looking at the place value to the right of that to determine if I round up or keep the value the same. For my first example, the 3 is less than 5, and so I would keep the value of 1 the same, and everything else turns into zeros. For my second example, the 9 tells me to round the 5 up to a 6, and so again the 4 would stay the same, the 5 turns into a 6, and everything else is a 0, so 4,600,000.